Okay, as we see, the stare down is
That's a stare down.
That is a stare down. All right, Ron Lyle, George Foreman. After Foreman had been on a little bit of a slide, I think Lyle just lost to Ali, if I'm not mistaken. So have at it. Looks like we're gonna have some fun with this one.
They didn't have a lot of fun, Frank, but we're going to have a lot of fun watching it because this one is, it's a brawl.
I think they had a great time because I think this is what they wanted to do.
Oh,
they didn't want to play around. This is what they wanted to do.
They didn't want to play around, but
boom, right to start.
Lyle said, "I'm gonna knock your head." I mean, that was a message punch right there. It's like, "I'm gonna knock your freaking head off, buddy."
Or somewhere or somewhere just above your knees. I'm gonna try and knock off.
Yeah,
right.
I'm gonna get you. Yep. And then it's interesting because Lyle kind of circles a little bit to his left, which would be an indicator he's going to throw to the right. Because I was just writing an article. Tammy Morella fought Joe Louis, and that's exactly what he did. He circled, he hypnotized, and then, bam! He threw the big right hand, and he nailed Joe Louis, knocked him into the ropes. And I was just curious watching this. Look at that.
My recommendation to people when they watch this, whenever we do this, we do it sound down and we talk about it. I watch things with the sound down, but this has Howard Cosell and Ken Norton on it. So if you want to get back into this at some point, listen to this fight as they're doing it. Cosell does a great job. Norton brings in a lot of interesting stuff to go with it. Live from Vegas at Caesar's Palace when they actually had fights at Caesar's Palace. But one of the things was that Lyle supposedly kept his hands low. Not keep them low here because if he does, he'll end up looking for his ears someplace else, I think.
Yep. No, yeah, he's boxing more in this round, which is very interesting.
Yeah. Well, what ironically you mentioned about watching this fight is having Ken Norton at ringside, knowing that he got rocked by Foreman earlier, talking about it. So that even add to it, even more.
And I think Cosell said something to the effect at some point, it's like, well, Lyle's doing better than you did, Ken. What do you think? I'm like, oh, gee, thanks Al. Yeah. You know. Do your ears still ring from that shot? Shut up, Howard. I'll hit you.
Yeah. I'm not Ali. I will hurt you, little man.
Yeah, Lyle is doing pretty well in this round. You know, he's jabbing. He's going to the body with right hands. I mean, he's boxing. He's boxing well.
But I think, the thing is, as we talked about, right, how long will that last?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. But still, usually when you see Foreman has been known to be on the offensive, see somebody else going after him is really, impressive.
And like I said, he's going to the body. He's trying to slow him down a little bit. We know that Foreman hasn't had the most stamina in the last few fights, so let's see what we can do.
Yeah, and Foreman is the one.
Oh, yeah. Let's hold on for dear life here. Yeah.
Okay.
Foreman is the one you see whose hands are kind of low.
Okay.
And boxing is now gone out the window. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, he hurt him.
Yeah, he did. He holding on.
Whoop.
He's in trouble. Yeah.
That hook.
Stop the fight. Okay. Now, in Foreman's corner is Dr. Gil Clancy, and he looks over at Dr. Gil Clancy. He's like, what?
What was that?
All right, and there's the same way to start the round again. Yeah, I'm not playing.
Wow. Ron Lyle, man.
And you see what I said? Foreman tends to keep his hands pretty low.
Yep.
He can be hit. It's just you got to be able to take it when he fires back.
Right.
And I think that's the misnomer about Foreman too. As we're watching Lyle move forward, it never really seemed like Foreman, because he was so big and quiet, that you never knew when he was hurt. He's like a tree falling in the forest at times.
Kind of quiet.
Yeah.
Here you can see it. I mean, that right hand, that will hurt him. He was,
Yeah.
Right, those hooks.
Frank, you were right, Frank. See, Lyle's not boxing no more. He's just walking after Foreman.
I got hit in the face and I'm ready to go.
Yeah, he's like, I hurt the guy. I'm going to end it now. And I think that's what they both are always thinking, knockout.
I think if we're going to do another fight like this, I'm just going to record us saying, and we don't even have to show up.
Yeah.
Boom.
They punch so hard,
Right.
And that action.
Oh!
Ooh.
Right, left. Combination from George Foreman.
Oh, that uppercut.
Now,
on the ropes.
do you think going through his head is, okay, he's on the ropes. Is this the rope-a-dope? What's going on here?
Actually, when you watch it now, you would think he would have to, which is why he's probably trying to get this over with as soon as possible with the action. See how he's moving forward? He's like, I'm not going to waste any punches. I'm going to hit this guy, which he is.
Which he is, right.
Yeah. Uppercut.
That glancing uppercut had to hurt.
Yeah.
That uppercut, Joe Frazier never forgot about that uppercut.
Right.
That was vicious. That
or he may have never remembered it.
Yeah. Didn't want to remember it if he even did. Yeah.
Now,
look at this. Look at this. Look at this.
Now,
wow.
Okay. Now, again, this is when we're watching the fight and we're listening to it. And Howard Cosell says, I think this was only 2 minutes. This was a 2-minute round.
Yeah, that's right.
And there was so much action, you didn't even catch it. You didn't even catch it. It's like, we missed a whole minute there.
It's too bad, Frank. It's too bad because Lyle was hurt.
Yeah.
So that hurt Foreman. I mean, he might have put him down right there. He looked like he was woozy, like, ooh.
Could he have made another minute? I don't think so.
That's what I mean. I think he would have went down myself. Yeah. So that hurt Foreman.
So he comes out again to the body, and he's like, okay, all right, you know what? I'm still not feeling too good after that, so I'm just going to hold on for a while, see what happens.
Yeah, and I can remember really being surprised by this because I thought Foreman was a pretty big favorite. I didn't expect this kind of a brawl. Not what it. I'm not going to blow it in case somebody's seen it.
Oh, speaking of which,
there was
when you turn your back to the guy, you're hurting.
Yeah,
he spun him around, and he's got nice jab.
Wow, but nobody. I think that's where Lyle is really underappreciated, undervalued.
Right.
Yeah.
This fight
good chin.
Right now,
he's like,
you don't rock George Foreman like he's doing right now.
Right.
You don't do that. He's rocking this guy.
No, Foreman was hurt more in this fight than in any of his fights, no doubt. I mean, he was more tired with Ali. He was hurt, but he was tired, and then Jimmy Young knocked him down in 12th. He was exhausted. Here, he gets buzzed. There's no doubt about it. You can see it.
I'm going to lean against the ropes, get a little breather, and then I'm coming back after you. All right, what do you got, big boy? Okay, I'm going to go with you. Right?
Yeah, he looks a little gassed here, but he's going to keep punching. That's what he did.
And they're just trying to paw each other off. Stay away, stay away. Let me hit a few. Stay away.
Put his glove on his
little
head.
rascals move.
Oh.
Wow. Foreman with those body shots.
It looks like Lyle's about ready to spit out the mouthpiece. It's like, Tops hit me in the head.
Yeah, Foreman. Some of those punches are like clubbing punches. Bam.
And Lyle says, "Okay, I'll figure out a way to get you to stop hitting me. I'm going to punch you in the face."
Exactly. And George, you're not supposed to do that.
There it was. And he watched Ali, so he threw a lead right hand, and Ron Lyle didn't throw lead right hands, and he threw it and he landed. So you knew that he had obviously had a lot of knowledge going into this.
Oh yeah.
This fight.
Plus, too, as you mentioned earlier, Frank, about the rope-a-dope, how he's staying close to the ropes. Like, I'm going to play you off and wait and hit you. I'm going to counter you off the ropes.
Wow. We've seen someone else do this before, so
Yeah.
And Foreman, was aware of it too, but he's still just punching away.
Right. Overhand right. Oh, man.
Look at his glove. It's always down his hip.
Yep.
There's the lead right hand again.
Yep.
This is great action.
Yep. Oh, man.
Now,
understand, this is round 3, and the second round only was, and there goes back that again. The second round only had 2 minutes. And they don't look fresh at this point, do they?
Oh, no. Lyle is just taking some amazing punches and horrible punches, actually. Not amazing, just horrific. And he's still there.
Yep.
Yeah, he is. Started tying up a little bit, but they're still throwing another.
Oh, solid right.
He had a great right hand.
And Lyle's like, okay, I'm going to punch, I'm going to breathe. I'm going to punch, I'm gonna
Another
breathe.
right. An uppercut.
Wow, body.
Left hand.
He's like,
right
George,
hand. Uppercut.
I'm tired of you.
Right hand.
Why don't you sit down for a minute?
Wow!
Yeah.
Wow, puts him down.
Now, the thing I thought was cool about
amazing.
this, George was up before Lyle was able to take him. Lyle looked more tired than George did after he knocked him down. It's like,
Yeah,
oh,
and he looks
man.
clear-eyed. Look, his
Yeah.
eyes are clear.
I'm good. I'm
Look.
good. And Lyle's like, I can't do this anymore, but I'll keep at it.
As they say, down goes.
I love the
Foreman.
reaction of the crowd. This is great.
Wow.
And there was his uppercut.
Yep.
Yes.
I'm going to push. I'm going to lean a little bit. Make the ref do some work.
His legs don't look right, though. Foreman's. They're still
Right.
kind of
Still looks good rubber, yeah.
But he's fighting back like always.
Oh,
Oh,
and Big,
oh,
you know, whoa.
oh,
And, you know,
oh.
Big George doesn't have to throw for. Ooh. Oh.
Jesus.
Ron Lyle said, not you.
All right, time for you to go down.
Go, Lyle.
Gosh.
Awesome round.
And he's like,
Yeah, this
oh, crap.
This is one of the greatest rounds in heavyweight
Ever,
history.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they're both
Yeah.
like,
Look,
all right,
Foreman
count
like,
for a minute.
you-
I'm going to lead against the ropes.
Look, there's Joe Louis, too, in the cowboy hat. You can
Yep.
see him in, like, the third row, the great Joe Louis.
George Foreman's in the corner looking like, ain't going to be no rematch.
Yeah.
That's right. Oh,
I'm going to finish. I'm going to finish this now. I'm going to finish this now. I'm tired
what
of
he's
you.
thinking.
I'm going to finish this now. And Lyle's like, no, you're not.
Like,
And
have
he-
we
look,
seen
these,
him
these,
fight before?
those, he's just trying to move his hands. He's not even trying to hit him right now. Get
Yeah,
his
he's
hands
not
out the way
hitting
so I
him
can
very
get him. Yeah. Well, he's trying to move his hands.
Have we
Yeah.
seen it before? It looks like somebody else did the same thing, right?
Yep. Yeah, that's it. Oh. Oh. Oh.
Oh!
Let me lean on the. Oops.
Oh! my
I think I may have gotten carried away.
Ron Lyle's like, look, I
Uh-huh.
told you.
I'm not going anywhere.
I saw Ali do this.
Yep.
Oh.
Boom. 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 Oh.
Oh,
Yo,
man.
Foreman's getting rocked. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, right back at him. Sit down again.
Oh! That should have been it. Down goes Foreman. Down goes Foreman. This
And there's
fight
no
should
being
be
saved by the bell. So it's like, where do I go stand? I don't know.
fight-
Oh, there's a stool over there. Okay.
over. This
Yeah,
fight should be
I
over.
remember, guys. I remember Gil Clancy saying that when Foreman went down that time, he thought the fight was over.
It should have been over.
Yeah.
He thought he was done.
He shouldn't have got up from this.
No.
Boom.
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 Oh, my goodness. Uppercut, right, left.
But he threw a good left back. But it's like, that's nice.
Boom.
Go
Right hand.
down.
All right. Wow. That's a hell of a round, man.
Incredible.
Yeah, so we're going to have to go look at the rounds that have been deemed to be better than this because I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. There was action. I don't think there was too much standing around other than George pawing and Lyle to get his fist down so he could throw something over top of it. But George is like, and Lyle's like, okay. Somebody wipe the snot out my beard. Let's go.
Right. Taking more time in that corner,
Yep.
trying to get it ready. Give me the mix, the mix.
And Larry's there.
Where's Panama Lewis?
Yeah. Boom. Comes right at it. Now you can see now there's a lot of leaning and
Foreman
holding
is
right now.
still Foreman is still feeling it, obviously.
Oh yeah. But you wonder how much gas Lyle has left. Well, that
he's
showed he got something.
trying to end it right here, of course.
Yep.
But then here comes Foreman.
Right back. And
One of the few times you see the ref try, like, I'm not getting between these guys.
yeah,
They're gonna hurt me.
Lyle looks gassed too right about now.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, and left hook.
that hook. Woo. Said that.
Oh, he almost went down again.
I got him.
I'm sorry.
And Lyle's like, I can finish him now if he gets his hands off me.
Uppercut. He like,
But now look, he can't get off the ropes. He's winded.
Look at Bobby Lewis yelling in the corner.
He's like, I can take him if I can land. Lyle's like, I can take him if I can land one more. If I can just land one more, I got him. Boom. And that's
There's
it.
a left hook.
Yeah, I got him. I got him. If I can just line him up, I've got him.
wow. Back and forth.
Like, okay.
And
Breathe
just
punch.
exhausted.
Breathe punch. And then Foreman says, "Okay, I
Oh, Ron Lyle.
stay there so I can hit you."
Ron Lyle with an impressive right hand.
Oh,
Uppercut.
Ron
Oh,
Lyle.
in the ear.
go down, George, go down.
And the tree is falling in the forest.
Uh-huh.
George,
Both
right
trees
there,
are
son.
staggering. Yeah, Lyle's just exhausted.
Oh,
Yep.
He's still hitting you when he's on the road.
Yeah, he's like,
Referee's like, Joe Louis. Like, all
right on the chin.
Yeah.
Like that Joe Louis comment. He's all right. Go ahead.
Lyle still throws a punch. He could have grabbed him.
He still
and
tried,
held on.
yeah.
Yeah, he still tried to throw, and he's just getting destroyed here. Punch after
And
punch.
the corner's about to throw in the towel.
Oh.
So yeah. You can see in the background the corner's about to throw in the towel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fighter falls on his face. That's
that's
when he watched
usually
him, like, he literally stood him up in the corner and was hitting him. And with barrage of punches. Wow.
that was.
But that was something. It's like, okay, what? Because now, as we're watching that last round, if we're scoring it, I think Foreman's about ready to go down. I don't know about
Looks
scoring,
like
but
it.
Foreman's just about done. Yeah. Okay. Now, as we talk about, that was what, 20 minutes of oh my goodness.
Yeah.
20 minutes of oh my heavens. So, all right. Normally when we do this, we try and break it down a little bit. It was okay. The first thing I noticed was Lyle came out through the right to the body at the beginning of each round, wildly hoping he was going to do something. So I think his game plan is, let's go to the body, let's soften him up, let's slow him down, let's get him tired. Which seemed like that was the intent for the first 40 seconds of the first round until he landed that shot. He's like, all right, the heck with it. Let's go after him. Now, I'm not even sure what to say, which, for me is kind of rare. Okay, even if I don't know what to say, I usually say something. Let's put it that way.
Of course.
All right, so, John, you said you saw this fight live when it happened, but haven't seen it since. What does it bring back to you?
It's like watching a really good movie and you haven't seen it in a long time. Then you watch it again and go, God, I missed that. How did I miss that the first time? Probably because I was jumping off the couch. I was watching it with my dad, and we were both screaming during the fight. We were pulling for Lyle. Honestly, I was never a big fan of George Foreman. That's why I loved it, of course, when Ali beat him. And so I really wanted Ron Lyle to win it because I didn't think he had very much of a chance. And when he was doing that, nobody did that to George Foreman.
Right,
I mean, like he said, even Ali and in the following year, Young knocked him down. But I didn't expect that. And it looked like a few times that he was ready to go, more than a few times. And you're right, Frank. I think what happened to Lyle in the last round was he just ran out of gas. If he hadn't got so tired, he'd have put him away. He had him. Foreman had a little bit more left. Yeah. And I also think that throwing that punch at the beginning of the round was, you're right. And I was also thinking that I think he was trying to say, I'm going to get off first here. I'm going to throw punches before you do. That's so important in boxing. And he's trying to set like a pattern or a theme and do that. But that's one of those fights you can watch it over and over again and still see things that go, oh man, look at those shots. Yeah. So that is a great throwaway science, which I love. Throw away the technique. It's got two big heavyweights throwing bombs at each other. I mean, in essence, that's kind of what boxing really is what we just saw.
Charles, now we'll get through the whole fight in a second. But at the end of the fifth, or in the middle of the fifth, was there a point where it could have gone either way?
Oh, no doubt. And I think that's a testament to Ron Lyle, because early on you never really heard. You knew Ron Lyle was a tough fighter, but you never would think that he would be had the ability to go back and forth and bang the way that he did with George Foreman. As much as I loved Ali. We all know our love for Ali on the show, but even Ali wouldn't do that. I mean, he waited to get the right situation, and he always went kind of like, went in, came back out, stuck his head out, came back. This guy was literally like, hey, it's me, it's you.
Go get it. Yeah.
Yeah, you hit me, I'm going to hit you harder. And I think that says a lot because I'll be honest with you, I watched a lot of George Foreman and over the years, and I never saw him in a fight like this.
Right.
Yeah, even with the Ali victory, I never saw a guy just dare to go, yeah, I'm going to match you, buddy. And if you get me, you beat me, you beat me. So, yeah, you're absolutely right. It could have went either way, but I was just surprised and excited that somebody else had the gall, unmitigated gall, to get up there and say, all right, let's do this.
Well, I mean, you think about it. Why would you? I don't, unless you know that your chin is better than anybody else's. I mean, you just seen him annihilate people for the last 3 or 4 years. If you just gave him one shot, it was like, go ahead, take your best shot. I'm going to take mine too. And obviously didn't pan out in the end, but for 5 rounds or 4.5 rounds, it was pretty close. And the reason I asked that question, I think when Foreman hits him with the left, when he's on the ropes in the middle of the round, if he doesn't land that punch or land that punch that backs him up, it could have went Lyle's way. I mean, I really think that it could have been that one punch or that one moment in time that it could have flipped the other way around because Foreman was hurt. And he just happened to hit that one punch that backed him up and hurt Lyle, and then that's where it turned. But, I've seen Foreman hurt before, but never that early with the way it happened. Like we said with Ali, he got hurt because an accumulation of what was going on and getting tired and winded and all that. Ali just out-psyched him and all that. But at this point, I'm like you said, Charles, you're going to go toe-to-toe with George Foreman, and that's your game plan?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I just think that's how that was, though. I think real quick that you never saw that before. When I watched it, I was shocked. I was like, you're doing that seriously?
Yeah.
You see what he did to Norton? You see what he did to Joe Frazier?
Right.
You had the audacity to challenge that big guy?
Yeah, there's just no way. There's just no way. And he did. And again, that was the game plan. Unless he just fell into it. Because like we said, at the beginning of the fight, he was trying to box a little bit more. But that lasted 30, 45 seconds. Like, yeah, okay, good enough. Let's go blast him. So, like I said, I could come up with analysis, which I'd just be making up. This was just one of those, yeah, let's go after it. Now, go ahead,
Frank,
John,
I was thinking that perhaps, and this isn't always an indicator, but that stare down that we only saw for a split second, maybe that was Lyle in a way saying, I'm not scared of you, man.
Right.
I'm going to take it to you like nobody has ever taken it to you. And I'm this close, and I'm not doing that to try to intimidate you. I'm doing that to say, look, it's a fight, and this is exactly what I'm going to do. And he did it, and nobody did that to Foreman. That's what was so amazing about that whole performance by Ron Lyle. And even to this day, I still shake my head like, God, Ron Lyle, you talk about having some big cojones.
Right,
It's really something.
Charles, do you think that Lyle's background has something to do with that? And kind of fill us in on that a little bit.
Yeah, well, I mean, he had done a term in prison, and perhaps he had to be tough. But there are guys that have been in prison that
would stand up to George Foreman, right?
Well, I mean, there are guys that have been in prison that have not fought that tough. Okay, let's be real.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, I know prison is hard. I would never belittle the toughness of that, but does it turn over into the ring? And I think that Ron Lyle just kind of showed you not only was he a tough guy, he was a guy that really was a damn good boxer.
Right.
And to me, with that Foreman standpoint of, now that I saw that, and we remember when Foreman came back and made his old man return, after that, it's like, hell, no wonder he came back. He was never going to face anybody else.
Right.
So he had seen it all. You lose to the greatest of all time. In my opinion, you have a fight like that, and you get the younger guys that a lot of them didn't punch like that because he never had to face Tyson. So hell, if you do the math at home, looking back now, made a lot of sense. He wasn't scared of anybody because he never thought he would ever get punched like this. Of course, definitely like when he faced a guy like Ron Lyle.
And yeah, you're sitting at home on the couch going, Shannon Briggs. Yeah, okay. And not to belittle Shannon Briggs. That's not what I mean. But it's like, Shannon Briggs can't hit me harder than Ron Lyle did. I'm good.
Right.
Yeah, let's
Go
go.
down the line.
Yeah,
Michael Moore.
Not going to hit me as hard as... Yeah, right.
Michael Moore really racked him over the coals.
Yeah.
He hit him with some vicious. And Foreman was never hurt once by those shots by Michael Moore. He just kept taking them like...
Okay, what else you got? Right.
Yeah, it was one of those deals. And you know what I was thinking when we were watching this is the guy that we were talking about a few months ago, and I know we have to do a show, and it inspired me to do an article on him, is Jimmy Young, because Jimmy Young beat Ron Lyle twice, and he beat George Foreman, and he arguably beat Muhammad Ali that night in Maryland, according to a lot of people. And this is another guy that really never got the credit he deserves.
You're right.
He was the guy, the opposite of what we just saw. He could barely break an egg with his punches, but he was so smart. Charles's favorite word, so crafty. In there, that he was amazing. And I never enjoyed writing an article more about somebody because he deserves this. So maybe in the future we could do something on Jimmy Young. And then the other thing I was thinking was, Ron Lyle also came back years later, and he fought a number of times, 4 times, I think, and he's in his 50s.
Right. Yeah, I was shocked when I looked at it. I'm like, he fought into the 90s? Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So yeah, we need to do a Jimmy Young thing. I think that we can throw in with this fight. You're talking about Jimmy Young and these guys also throwing Ernie Shavers against them. You know, that was and another impressive man. I don't know what else there is to say. I think by watching it said it all. If you guys have something that you want to add to it, please feel free, because I'm just like, the proof was right there on the screen. There's nothing else I can add to it.
Go ahead, Charles. You first.
Yeah, I would just say that, again, the main thing is giving Ron Lyle his due. I mean, granted, I know we probably may not do a show on Ron Lyle, but it might be worthwhile looking at the fights that he took and maybe his accolades as far as his record and, you know, minus championships and stuff like that are not really there. But, I mean, that's worthwhile saying. And you're talking about Jimmy Young the same way. When you're in an age of perhaps some of the greatest heavyweight boxers of all time, and you have to find a way to be not just good, but to be a serious threat, and to not only that, but survive and do well, that says a lot. That's why with Jimmy Young, you're like, well, was he really a hard puncher? Not really. How the hell did you survive in which was one of the considered, like you said, one of the greatest eras of all time, particularly heavyweight? And then for Ron Lyle, just the toughness of, you know, even when he fought Ali, he's like, I'm not hurt. Richard Pryor made a joke about that. I'm not hurt. It's like he's still standing. And I have to say again, watching this fight, because this was the first time I saw this fight, okay? First time I saw this. And to watch how he literally stood up against Foreman after what I had known previously about what Foreman was capable of, I have a newfound respect for Ron Lyle's boxing career. I do, because he's a tough son of a gun, prison or no prison. He's a tough guy.
Well, okay, looking at the 4th round, and we've said a lot of nice things about Ron Lyle, which are deserved. Looking at the 4th round, George Foreman goes down. He goes down. Now, at this point, even Howard Cosell is questioning George's desire, his want to. You know, he doesn't look like he's here tonight. He doesn't look like he wants to be here. Going back to losing to Ali, is he really out to regain his title? What does he feel like he's doing? And even George has said after this, you know, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do as a fighter, except for that's all I know how to do. I lost to the man that I thought I was going to beat. I lost my belt, blah, 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 blah.
Lost his confidence.
Right. So he goes down at the beginning of the 4th round, or middle beginning of the 4th round. Wow. Okay. How does he fight back from this? Then he knocks Lyle down. Okay. Then he gets knocked down again. And barely makes it up before the bell. Bell doesn't save you, so he's got to get to the count. Then he gets rocked again in the 5th.
Badly.
Right. Looked like he was just about ready to go. And he finishes the fight on his feet when Lyle's not. I mean, whatever you want to say about George, whatever anyone wants to say about George, you got to give him some credit for heart in this one. You know, no matter punching power, all that stuff, he could have stayed down 3-4 times. Or went down 4. He went down, was it 3? Went down 3, could have stayed down, went down another 4th time. And, you know, the first one, he got right back up. The other 2, well, I'm not really, yeah.
Yeah, no, Frank, really that's an excellent point, because I think I've said this before, I think that separates the good. I don't know if George was great, but because I don't know, but he had a great heart for sure. He had that fighter's heart where you might have him hurt, you might have him down. That doesn't mean the fight's over. He's going to keep on fighting until you count him out. And that showed that. A lot of guys don't have that kind of heart. And I don't think anybody really doubted his courage before that. But that isn't something that we've discussed either. We've been talking about the courage of Ron Lyle, and it's all true. Everything we said is true. But Foreman deserves a big amount of credit for, especially that last knockdown, because when I said Gil Clancy said, "That's it, we're going home." I mean, he got up, and he had to take another shellacking in the next round, and then he finds somewhere that reservoir that these guys have to start. So it was just like a roller coaster, you know, and just got to give George Foreman his due on that one for sure.
Well, Charles, and I just thought of this, and maybe you can clarify it for me since I just thought of it. Part of the comeback that we mentioned that George had 20 years later, does some of that come from just what we just saw?
I think so. But because, like I said, if you think about it, and he's evaluating his career, then he's probably going to say, hell, with these new young cats, I'm coming, checking them out. I don't think anybody punches like that. And not only that, do they have the desire that these, because back then it was all business. These guys were, they were monsters. And if he can get up, because I never saw George Foreman down 3 times in his whole career. I never, and like I said, I saw this fight for the first time. I was shocked. I was surprised. Again, I had a newfound respect for him as well, because you get up and now you come back 20 years later,
right?
And he's like, "I don't hit hard as Ron Lyle. Hell, I can win. I can win some fights here, and you're not as tough." And again, it comes back to the one guy he said he did not want to face, which was Mike Tyson. Never had to see him. So if you don't see Mike Tyson, hell, I might be able to win a few fights and sell some more grills.
but also I think I feel like I can do it because look what I did here. Not just because I took the guy's punch, but I can come up off the canvas in my life. You know, I have faced adversity before, unlike any other time, I think. And I went, look what I did here. You go back and look at that fight. If I'm George Foreman going, yeah, like I want to sell grills. I want to do this. I want to do that. I am that resilient because of that. You know, so I think that, you know, that I don't want to see that leads us up to, you know, Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. coming up here, because unfortunately their last few fights weren't positive. But you can look at that positive. What did I do when I was on top of my game? I should be able to do it again, no matter what. And obviously, we see Mike Tyson have a career life rebound in the last 10 years, so that might have some bearing on it as well. But I just look at this fight and the aftermath of that and go, okay, now I'm going to get my timing mixed around. I think the Lyle's fight Shavers after this. Before this, okay. So
he fought him before
this, okay. So. And this is just a side note, and I don't know why I'm going there, but we see where George Foreman goes. Ron Lyle and Ernst Shavers become friends after this, or at this point. So this is kind of interesting, too, that, you know, we look at what's going on in the fight game, and I think because they're in a shared place, they do things the same way. They have to go through these moments of going through the fire, there's a lot of respect and a lot of admiration for these guys. So, I like I said, I'm not sure.
Yeah, and I remember
Go ahead, Go ahead.
I was just gonna say what popped into my brain. I don't know why, but I remember when Lyle was 19-0 or something with 16 or 17 knockouts, and he was gonna fight Jerry Quarry, and everybody thought our guy Jerry Quarry, and everybody thought, oh, that's the end of Jerry Quarry. Nope, Jerry Quarry beat him.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So again, that's just one of those things about boxing. We always talk. I'm always talking about styles, but Jerry just figured out a plan and just beat him easy. So, and what does that say about Jerry Quarry? So, I mean, they were just the depth of the heavyweights in the 70s was just amazing.
Yeah, I was going to allude to that. Yeah, that's what Charles has been saying for the last few months here. Is that we're in the realm now of the welterweights and in those areas. That's where the heavyweights were back then. Okay, well, like I said, guys, we could sit here and hem and haw and goof on this one as much as we want, but I think the proof is in the pudding. So my recommendation to people that are watching this, as well as liking and subscribing and all that stuff as we went over before, is that after you watch our commentary of it, this is one where I recommend watching what Howard Cosell had to say. Wide World of Sports, Ken Norton especially because he'd been in there. Don't always go there just because sometimes they get carried away and they're one-sided. In this one, Howard Cosell was pretty much down the middle. Ken Norton had been in with both. He was like, okay, cool. He had something to say. So, as always, folks, thank you very much. I think we short and sweet on this one because the fight didn't last that long. So that was pretty cool. Anything to add, gentlemen?
Good fight.
Good night.
Good fight.
Thank you very much, and we will catch up with you next time when we figure out what we're doing. We will let you know.